Welcome to the Crafty Dancer. Here's what I got for us today. It's something a little more special. I know I did my ghost from the last video, but this one we got a little something extra. I got somebody here with me. This is Gary.
Hello.
Gary is here because, actually not here, I'm at Gary's house. So today what we're going to be watching and doing is pouring a table, a river table, and I'll let him explain why. So Gary, what made you decide to do a river table?
Well, this is for my oldest son. So I wanted to make him a special project that hopefully he can keep for a long, long time, for the rest of his life. So
kind of an heirloom table.
well, that's what we're hoping it'll be. So,
All right.
Yeah.
So that's the plan for today. And what I'm going to do is do a quick pause so that I can take the camera down, and we're going to let Gary give you a little tour of exactly what's going on here. So we'll be right back. Okay, so Gary, show us what you've got planned here.
Well, first of all, I made the mold, got it all sealed. Hopefully it's all sealed. And got the slabs in there, and I have them all clamped down where the resin doesn't float them up, and I've got everything level where the resin will not pour sideways or whatever. So this we're going to be pouring through here to make the river of the resin, and then over here you'll be able to see the I've got the base and the legs all ready to go. So then the tabletop will go on there, and
Where did you get your legs from?
Well, I bought that off of Amazon. So the legs, the metal legs. I manufactured the log here, but it's all solid, completely solid red cedar. And the red cedar come out from western Oklahoma. And so I glued that all up, and then I come in here and try to distress it around where it makes it a little bit more authentic, and then put a stain on it. And so hopefully the plan is that the tabletop will be this color also. So it should all match up, and then put the river in.
But I think it first things first is we got to do the pour.
Got to do the pour, yes.
Okay, we go back, and what we're doing is we're getting ready to do the pour. So I'm going to let Gary tell us what resin he's using.
Well, I like to use Let's Resin epoxy. It is a deep pour, since it is a deep pour, and I've had really good luck out of the Let's Resin product, and it's not toxic, so I think it's safe, and for our environment that we'll be pouring in today.
One of the bad things about a lot of resin out there is it creates a lot of fumes. So you have to wear a mask and all this other stuff. That's one of the things I really like about Let's Resin, is the fact that you don't have all those fumes, and it still cures super hard. So I like it, and I'm sure he likes it. Now this one looks like it's a 2-to-1. So we're going to do two parts of A to 1 part of B. So, and this is going to take a couple of different pours. We're going to try to do it in 2. So we're going to start right off. Also, he has mica powders.
Yep.
And looks like we're using Pacific Blue with a little bit of Your Black.
Your Black, yeah.
Your Black.
Yeah.
So we're going to add in the mica powders and then get it started. So let's start pouring. He has an example here. This is a little charcuterie board he already made. So you kind of get, this is what he's going for. Now I can see it's a little bit of translucency to it. So we're going to try to do it a little bit darker so you can see through it.
Right.
Because we don't want the legs to show through the bottom. So let's get started. So I would say let's do half in here of each one.
2 quarts.
Yep. 3 quarts of each, and then we'll pour in the B.
So we'll do 2 quarts of A and then bring it up to 3 quarts on the
So
B.
we're going to pour in 2 buckets here. So that and of course they're marked because these are by value, not by weight. And he knows exactly how far he needs to go with each one, so he's going to fill it up to
2 quarts.
2 quarts. There we go, at the 2 quart line. Now we'll do the other one. And it looks like we're going to have to bust open another one.
Mm-hmm. A.
Yeah, so one thing, if you ever do this, you got to make sure you go with the same brand and same amount. Yeah, A goes to A, and of course B into B. All right. So now this should be enough. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Let's see.
Hopefully.
Because we've got how much in that one? We got to put.
We got to put another one. We got to bring it up to 3 quarts.
So 3 quarts.
To go to 2 to 1.
So we're going to add 1 quart in each one of these.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
They can be stuffed.
Okay, let's see how we do here.
There's 1 quart. See, we got enough.
Ooh,
Oh, look at that. Just make it perfect.
that just needs a little bit right there. That's good.
Perfect. Okay, so now, adding mica powders. Your primary color you want to put more in, or your secondary color you're just going to add a little. So, what do we want to make sure we got here? We've got a little mixing wand.
I've got a big mixing wand here if you want it.
So we got 1 here and 1 for him, and of course his is bigger than mine. Okay, but first we got to add our powders. So now, to be clear, you want to make sure that being as you got 2 different things, you want to add the same amount to each one. So one person gets to do the adding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he's going to let me do it this time. Okay, so I'm going to say we probably need about 4 of our tongue depressors. Nice, healthy scoops, and this is what I'm going to put in. I'm going to put 4 of those in, and then we can kind of stir it and see where we're at. Now, of course, we haven't stirred it up yet, but we can do that with the mica powders. 2, 3, 4. Now I'll do the same over here. 1, oh, that one didn't get enough. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So there's 4 of those. Close that up. And I'm going to put 1 in of the black. 1 and 1. Now the fun part, let the stirring begin. turning, what you want to make sure you do is bring the bottom up to the top. So I go to the bottom and I slowly work my way up to the top. And then I go back down to the bottom. Now also, grab your stir stick there. I like to make sure that I get the sides. Because I got a lot of powder up on my sides and center too. So we're going to scrape that down into the mix. Now there's always a question, well, how long should you mix? Well, recommended is 2 to 3 minutes. And that's usually what I follow. But here's a good rule of thumb. When you think you've got it stirred enough, stir it some more. There we go. You see, scrape that in.
Mm-hmm.
All the way around like that.
You know, this resin is a little bit thinner than what
Well, the deep core is a lot thinner, which takes more time to cure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The thicker the resin, the faster the cure.
Okay, good to know. I just knew it felt different, so.
But this is also good because it releases bubbles a lot easier.
Oh, good.
The thinner
Yeah,
the resin, the easier the bubbles come up.
perfect. It's a pretty color, isn't it?
Oh,
It turns out really pretty.
Matter of fact, I'm going to show. Oops. Let me get the camera over here. I'm going to bring you guys over so you can kind of see what the color is doing here. There we go. Let me grab my bucket. The blue with the black really kind of tough.
Well, I wanted a little bit of black, Kim, because the legs were black. I thought that would go good, so.
Definitely makes a difference.
Want me to hit a lick with this big one?
While you're doing that, I will do a little scraping over here. Now what I'm doing over here is I'm actually scraping the inside all the way around. Now when we do the pour, we're not going to scrape it to get all the resin out. We're just going to pour it out and then leave it at that. Because if you don't have all your resin mixed, you got an issue. Now one thing we are going to do is we're going to debubble it before we do the pour. I'm going to scrape my little stick here.
I think that's good.
There we go. Now, you're going to bring it right over here. And she has a really great vacuum chamber. You just turn it this way so you can see it. Open it up. And we can take our bird form, lower it down in there. Now with this much resin, you really want to kind of keep your eye on it while you vacuum it. Now I'll let him, it's his chamber, so I'll let him do.
What do you think?
Now you can see we didn't get all the bubbles out, but we got a lot of them. So this is a deep pour resin, so a lot of those bubbles will come back up as we pour it. We'll get rid of them, then of course we'll use a torch or a heat gun to get rid of the rest. So we'll make you sit here and watch the second debubble. We'll go ahead and get that one out of the way. Okay, we're back. Now what we're going to do is we're getting our pour going. So this is the important part. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you up here a little bit more so that you can see and watch, of course, the most important part, the pour. So let's angle it down. Now when doing the pours, you want to make sure that you have your surface all clean, which we wiped it down already, and we put a little bit of spray on there with, we'll grab the spray. It's a mold release, so not only does he have it taped, but he also has his mold release spray. It's called Magic Chims mold release. So hopefully when we get it all done, it'll release nice and easy off of the mold. So next thing we do is after we pour it, we've got our little torch and we have a heat gun. So we got two ways to pop bubbles. Now this should only be about half of the first pour. So if you're ready, Gary, I'm ready. We'll just start pouring. And oh, I love this color. Look at that, we'll meet in the middle and come right back. Now, even though we debubbled, we still ended up with a lot of bubbles. And actually, you're only going to need about one more of these, not two.
Right.
Now don't scrape it. There we go. So now with the torch, this is the fun part. You get to pop these bubbles that came up. Now it is a deep pour resin, so it should pop as it goes. So it's going to take a little while to cure. Oh, look at that. Isn't that not gorgeous? You chose an awesome color.
Right underneath the board there. Thank you.
Now it's going to slowly release, so we'll have to keep an eye on it as you do with all things. When you're working with resin, you got to kind of keep that. So they will slowly rise. And most of them will release on their own. But there we have it. We have our first pour. And then, of course, to finish it off, we'll talk about what we're going to do then. See? All right. So what we're doing at the moment is we're going to go ahead and do a little check for leaks. Because that's one of the things that you want to make sure you do is check for leaks. So let's turn the camera back around here. There we go. So here's the table. So we're looking, we see on the top, everything looks good, but let's look down here on the bottom and no leaks. No leaks on this end. So everything's looking good over here. So we'll go down to the other end because that's the two main spots. Everything looks good. No drips, no leaks so far. And it's been a few minutes. So we got right there. Now, whoops, there we go. That's it, right in there. And he's got some bubbles, so we'll let him turn that on and get rid of the bubbles. Now, it's just been a few minutes since we've poured it, so Again, you want to keep your eyes on it. Make sure that you get all the bubbles out. Now, it is a deep pore resin, so it shouldn't really bubble too much. I mean, if it does, we did a debubble, but you're still going to have bubbles after your pour. So that's what you seen us doing earlier. And I just love the way this is coming out. It's looking very, very cool. Come on this side where we can see it better. Got a lot of lights reflecting. And there we have it. We'll be back to show more. Okay. We are here again at Gary's house, and we've been checking over the pour. It looks good. Everything came out nice and clear, and not a whole lot of trash in there, but a little bit. We tried to clean out what we could. We did have one little bug got in there, and we're hoping we can get that cleared out because it's right there. Didn't come out so great, but we're going to do what we can with it. So now we're getting ready to go ahead and do the clear pour. So I'll put you back up on the stand. And there's Gary.
Hello.
And his lovely wife, Ann, is behind him. They treated me to waffles this morning. Now, it has been 24 hours, so the resin is not fully cured. It is still soft, which is good because we want to get another pour in, and this is how you keep from getting too many lines. Now, granted, we did wait a little bit too long. It should have been a little more tacky, but we should still be okay with this pour. And we're getting ready to pour clear this time. So I'll let him start pouring. And again, we're doing about the same amount that we did yesterday. And while we don't use, we'll have On grab us another mold and we'll pour into it. Now, when we do pour this into this one, if we have enough left, it's going to take a lot longer than normal to cure. That's okay. You can speak.
Oh, okay.
She didn't want to speak too loud. And we're pouring the part A. All right?
Yeah,
Or no, that's part B.
I got A and B in it. It's good. You go.
Okay, and I will start mixing it up.
Yep. You may have to hold that because it will just come out. That will just come out. So
okay.
Hang on to it. Okay, that's liters, that's quarts.
Oh, the bubbles. It came out. Turn it over to you,
Dick?
and you'll hand me that one there. I'll just do some wiping on the inside and continue stirring. And of course, once again, we want to make sure that we scrape the sides. We will not scrape the sides when we pour, but I'm just trying to make sure we get everything good and mixed. And then we'll debubble it. It's always a good idea to debubble, even with deep pours. There for you.
Give me a couple of that. Like that.
Now, we'll fast forward from here so you can enjoy the speed of which we're going to do all this. Yours came out a lot clearer than mine. You didn't start as fast though.
Didn't start it fast.
I put a lot of bubbles in this one.
Yeah, you just have to kind of not pull the trigger quite as hard. But those little paddles stirs it pretty good, don't they?
Yeah, I do.
Bet you can stir it too much, too fast sometimes.
I did way too much. Put way too many bubbles in this one.
Well, we'll just have to let it, maybe have to let it set a little bit, let the bubbles rise a little before we pour it. Or and I've got smaller half-size buckets if you want to pour, if you need some out of there where it don't float over the top.
That's smart. I've never seen. We're doing marking what they all, how much each one takes.
Right. I went in and put water in the mold and measured it with water to see what it is.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Looks like yours is partially clear. Mine was milky, very milky.
What kind of oil do you put in there?
You got some with it, didn't you?
Yeah, I put it in there. I don't know if it's. I got the box and everything still in here, but
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's I'll just have to read up and
try to
see
look on there and see. Or
what kind of oil.
good way to. I always go to Google it as well.
I'm still in good shape with
Oh,
the
yeah.
oil, but
Yeah,
still.
mine's about the same.
So,
Every once in a while, I get a little bit of a leakage from it, but. Set that there.
It is, and it's really.
What did we do to this? It's almost as though we put white mica in there. That is weird. I don't understand that. I've never had it look like that before.
we just, like I say, started too quick. Maybe, it really, the chemical reaction really intensified or something. There it goes. Sometimes I gotta pop it down a little bit.
Oh, you don't have a gasket on the top of that?
That's just the way it is. It's just that
See,
rubber.
mine's got one on the can and on the top.
Yeah, that didn't. But once it makes a seal, fine.
That's good.
You know, so, but I still got.
Okay, so what happened is when I mixed mine, I did it at a pretty high speed, and I created so many bubbles that it just kind of turned milky white. So we're trying to get all the bubbles out. So we're going to be having to do this for a little bit. So while we work this out, we'll come right back. Okay, we are finally done. Hey, believe it or not, it took a while because I served mine a little bit too much and we had an overflow. So, because I looked away for a minute, don't ever do that. Make sure you keep an eye on your debubblers because it can overflow. So this is something you want to make sure you keep track of. So now we've got both of our clears mixed and ready to go and debubbled. So we are actually ready to go ahead and do our pour. So we're going to go ahead and set up. He's blowing it off, making sure we get all the dust and dirt out of there. We've got a huge air filtration system above our heads that he's used to suck all the air and the dirt and everything out. And of course, when we did that, we opened the door. So now we're just blowing it off the rest of the way to make sure it's ready to go. So now we are actually ready to do our pour. So I got mine and he's got his. Bring it over to the table. This is all clear. So, and it's just tacky down here, so it should be fine and should be able to take hold pretty well. So let's see what happens. We'll start our pour. And it looks like we are just enough to get up over that ridge a little, which is where we want it. Mine's all in.
Close. I think it still needs a little bit. Yeah.
Once again, we're not scraping the buckets. We're just letting it drip out. And you know what? We might. I don't know.
You may need a little more.
Where are we at? Nope. We're right over the edge.
Yeah, we're right there. We're good. Oh, we're good. We're good. We can sand that down. We're good.
Now I'll start doing the bubbles. Oh, that looks nice.
How do we get lucky and get it just about the right amount, huh?
Yeah. So now Ann can mix up some of her regular resin to do her other stuff that she set up.
Mm-hmm. Oh my.
Look at that. That is just gorgeous. I'm going to pick out some of this trash here. We got a couple little pieces in there. Now the good thing is of course, you're going to have to sand this. So any little trash that is up on top, you should be able to get out.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff down on the bottom that I'm concerned about. And that one I can't get out. Let's get that in. So now with this being a deep pour, it's actually going to take an entire week before, well, actually in 2 days, he could take it out of the mold. And then another 3 to 4 days, he has to leave it sit in order to let it fully cure before he can actually start cleaning and doing the rest of it on the top. And so you want to give your resin, especially the deep pour, at least a week to fully cure before you decide to do the rest of the work on it, such as, your sanding, leveling, all that stuff that's still got to be done to it after you get it done. Just give it a full week and then it will cure. After that's done, sand it, plane it, do whatever you need to do to it, finish it, trim off the edges on the ends, clean up your sides, and then stain the wood. Now, it's also a very good idea to keep any stain or anything like that off of the resin, because the resin won't absorb that stain. So you want to make sure you try to keep that off of there. Your biggest point as far as the top part, if you sand it, you want to start off at the low grits, work your way up to the higher grits, then go to the wet sandpaper, and then go, once you get all the way through the higher up to 4,000 or 5,000 grit with wet sanding. After you do all that, then get out your buffer and start buffing it. Once you get it all buffed out, you should get nice, clear, a very nice clear top. Now, my suggestion is on the whole table is what you can use your Rubio on there. I like to try to keep that just on the wood, not put it on the resin. But you can use a stuff called the ceramic coat on both. So after you do your Rubio on the wood, do the ceramic coat on the whole thing, and that really makes it nice and hard and solid. So that's my suggestion. We'll be back for the finish. That'll be part 2. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this video up. So far, if you've liked what you've seen, please, as always, give me a like, give me a share, hit the bell icon for more notifications so you don't miss part 2 of this video. And we'll see you when we come back with putting it all, doing the finish work and putting it onto the table base. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.